Okay, everyone, so we are in lesson 16. Here is our problem set. So we are going to draw a pair of parallel lines in each box, then use the parallel lines to draw a trapezoid with the following. So it said draw parallel lines. I'm going to do the best I can to draw some parallel lines. Okay, and then I need to draw, let's see, no right angles. So if we remember, a right angle is like this, right? So this can't have any right angles. So I'm just going to extend. I really should probably be using my protractor. Okay, so there's a trapezoid with no right angles. All right, so I need to draw one with only one obtuse angle. So let's see. I'm gonna draw my other parallel line as best I can. Okay, so I know I need an obtuse angle. That's gonna be there. And then let's see, let's do a straight line to give me some right angles. Okay, so one obtuse angle. Let's see, two obtuse angles. Well, that one that I drew earlier would work. And that's kind of like the one that I drew in the mini lesson. So I think if we just do this. We're going to end up with an obtuse angle here and an obtuse angle there. Okay, and then at least one triangle, or sorry, one right angle. I'm going to draw a straight line. I'm actually just going to create the base. Only one right. Oh, okay, let's see. Oh, at least one right angle. It means it just has to have one. Okay. Look, I'm going to draw this. Trapezoid has my right angle, has my parallel lines. Okay, so I've just drawn 4 examples of trapezoids. And so now I'm going to go, because I know question 2, even though it's not on there. So use the trapezoids you drew to complete the tasks below. So it wants us to measure the angles of the trapezoid with your protractor and record the measurements. Okay, and then use a marker or crayon to circle the pairs of angles inside each trapezoid with a sum of 180 degrees. Okay, we can do this. I'm going to tear this out though. All right. Okay, so I'm going to start with the first one, which I drew freehand. So it's not going to be perfect probably, and my measurements will more than likely be off. Now, this is going to be really hard for me to read because my line does not extend to my protractor. So I'm going to take my protractor and I'm just going to do that. And then you know what? I'm going to do the same thing over here because I need to be able to read those lines. Okay, so I'm lining it up the best that I can, even though it wasn't a perfect drawing. Okay, so this bottom angle here is an acute angle, so I'm going to use my bottom number, and it looks like it's 81 degrees. I'm going to come over here, try and line it up. This is also an acute angle, so I'm going to use my top number, 80, 81. This looks like 82 degrees. I'm going to flip it around. Okay, I can see that my lines need to extend a little bit more. Okay, let's try this. These should be my obtuse angles. So I'm going to use wherever my larger number is. Okay, so here we are, 100, 101, 102. And, oh, this still doesn't extend, but if I thought this is about 101, 102, 103. Okay. So, if we're looking at A, you should quickly notice that none of my angles equal 180 degrees. And the first thing I said was I drew this freehand, okay? So I didn't use a protractor to help guide my lines. So my measurements are off. But what you might notice is that each of my angles equal 184 degrees. So that kind of shows that my drawing is accurate of sorts, even though my angles are off. So these two angles equal 184, these two angles equal 184. We are trying to draw, if we're trying to draw perfect trapezoids, those would each equal 180. Okay, so if we look at B, these, even though I drew it freehand, technically would both be 90 degrees. And so we know that these match to equal 180 because 90 and 90 is 180. So we can already start thinking, okay, well then if I drew this precisely, then these two angles should equal 180. I would have my obtuse angle and my acute angle. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to extend my line. You would think after teaching this lesson for so many years, I would have remembered to extend my lines. Okay, so let's see. So that angle looks like it's 120. So if this was drawn precisely, then this angle should be, do the math, do the math, do the math, 60 degrees. So actually I can even just turn it here. I'm going to need to extend this line. I'm going to measure it like this. Line it up. Oh, it's so close. 61 and a half. We'll just say 62. Okay, so that one was so close. So we can see we have our two angles, 120 and 62, which should technically, if it was drawn precisely, equal 180, and then our 90 and 90. Okay, so going down to this one, again, I already know I'm going to need to extend those lines. Just going to extend them on up into the other drawing. Oh, excuse my children as they scream this morning. Okay. Okay, so here we are. I am measuring. Let's see what we've got. This is an acute angle, so I'm going to use my bottom number. So that's about 74. And then over here, I am at about 70. Thank you. I'm at about 72. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. I don't understand what's going on. Turn this back on, please. Thank you. Okay. Well, I appreciate that, but I need you to unpause it so he doesn't cry. I'm almost done. Thank you for being a good listener and helping me out. Okay. So we have 72. I'm going to turn so that way I can measure these angles. I need to extend this entire line a little bit more. Okay, there we go. This is going to be an angle greater than 90 degrees, so I'm going to use my bottom numbers. So here I am. This is 110. I can count backwards. 109, 108, 107. And then counting here, this is 110, 111, 112. Okay, so again, if I am looking for my angles, I have 107 and 74, which would take me to 181, because I'm going to have an obtuse angle and an acute angle that match. So that, what did I say? That was 180, 181. And then over here we have 184. It's the closest we're going to get. Okay, so down here we have our 90 degrees and our 90 degrees. So we know that those are going to be our two matching angles. And if we come up here and do these, we know that these two angles should equal 180. So I'm going to extend that line so I can read this obtuse angle. So we're looking at 125. So let's see, 30 to 80. So this should be 55. We are, let's see. So again, lining up. It's a little off. We're at 57. Okay, if I was using my gridded paper from earlier, then most definitely these angles would be matching up. Okay, guys, so trapezoids, just to review. Trapezoids are quadrilaterals, so they have 4 sides. They have at least one set of parallel lines, okay? And when you are measuring angles, you should have pairs of angles that equal up to 180 degrees if you have drawn your trapezoid precisely. Okay, so today was all about trapezoids. Hope you learned something new. Have a good one.